Hi, my name is Philip Day from the Campaign for Truth in Medicine, and you're listening to Up Close and Personal, a special interview with a very interesting character I have with me, Peter Leando. Welcome. Meditherm Limited. Many of you know on the tours that we've done around the world, talking about thermographic imaging, breast scanning, the dangers of radiation, and some safe alternatives. Peter, welcome. Meditherm, over the years, has gained a tremendous reputation for being one of the, in fact, being foremost in breast scanning using infrared thermography. Can you just explain to our listeners what the main advantages are?
Well, the main advantages of using thermal imaging is that it's non-invasive. No radiation or any type of invasive thing at all. It's able to give us a very objective piece of information relating to the actual physiology of the breast, the function of the breast rather than the actual structure.
Because I read a number of scientific reports state that thermographic imaging can actually, is much earlier detection from the point of view that long before tumours form, the vascularity forms to feed them, and that can be detected using thermography.
Right. It gives us a much earlier indication that things are taking place. We are able to see the vascular changes that take place long before anything becomes structural enough to be seen with ultrasound or mammogram.
Right. The alternative, of course, for breast scanning will be your regular X-ray scan. And, of course, how mad is it to persuade millions of women around the world to slam their breast in a cold fridge door and then irradiate them with over 1,000 times the rads of a chest X-ray to see if they've got a radiation problem. So I'm a big fan of non-invasive, non-radiation sources for this. In fact, just I think last month we featured an article on the damage of any X-rays going into the body, any X-rays at all. So this clearly has implications for future safe scanning. By all means, get scanned. After all we've spoken about with cancer, scanning is important. It's also pretty important to find out if you're doing metabolic therapy for cancer or any kind of nutritional treatments for cancer to be able to detect the change in breast mass as the patient recovers. Is that not right?
That's correct. It is a useful way to monitor the response to treatment and get a good idea of the actual activity, the changes in the activity, as well as the actual changes in the size of the tumour.
Now, these machines that you're using are now in America. They're pretty much in all the major cities. They're all over the place. What's the availability of this type of scanning in the UK?
It's less of an availability in the UK. You'd obviously have to travel greater distances. Most of the centres around big cities will have a system that you have access to.
Pretty much. I mean, we've had a look at the website, by the way, up on the screen right now, www.meditherm.com, and I believe you have all of the current sites, facilities available for people scanning. And in other countries, we've got a lot of people looking at this from Australia. You've major cities again there, in New Zealand and so on and so forth.
Yes. It's been available in Australia for a little bit longer than it has in the UK, so right. A few more well-established centres in Australia.
Yeah. Peter's company, Meditherm, we first heard about them probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And this was at the same time that a lot of information was now being reported in the newspapers about the dangers of X-rays, but also at the same time women around the world obviously are encouraged to go in for regular scanning. So what we have here, ladies, is a safe source of scanning, a safe ability to be able to get much earlier detection, no radiation going in. There are many other applications of thermographic technology. We were having a chat before we started filming this, and I was fascinated to learn about the different things, for instance, in maritime use, if somebody falls overboard. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there's applications as far as the physiological side of things go. The industrial cameras are looking at a very wide range and are used for all sorts of different sort of non-destructive testing applications. But as far as looking at body heat is concerned, there are lots of applications, including being able to detect man overboard and various other things.
So there you are in the channel, somebody drops into the drink after a night of revelry, and you can pick up a camera, you can aim it at the sea around, because you know in these films, I mean, you're looking at somebody who doesn't go near a boat, because I just have the worst sea legs possible, but in these films where somebody drops off a liner, that's it for them, isn't it?
Well, it could be, especially at night or in fog or anything else like that. It's difficult to find a small head floating around in the sea. but the thermal camera will give you a target to
zoom in. And you're also talking to me about companies who are now using this to scan when people actually enter a large corporation, for instance, where hundreds of people might work and they have the flu. Yeah. They can actually detect this and give the person the day off, as if no day offs around here, because we're supposed to be a health organisation. But in these large corporations, how important is that? You think about the number of man hours or women hours that are lost as a result of not only those individuals being off, but others that they might make sick at the same time, schools as well.
That's one of the applications, to be able to monitor large numbers of people, high density volumes of personnel. Mainly actually it was triggered by the problems with bird influenza, the
scares on SARS
and any pandemic outbreaks, to be able to keep large corporations open with their staff coming in, and so that was another one.
Well, what I'm bound to ask now is that if it's picking up, and it does, obviously rises in temperatures above and beyond the mean, then what about its uses in lie detection, for instance?
Yes, it's got quite an advantage over the old polygraph lie detection test, because it's easy to use. The training is much less than anybody trained to use the polygraph,
right.
And of course non-invasive. So that's got quite a lot of applications in the security industry. Yes.
So somebody comes to you saying, "Boss, I need a day off work because I've got the flu." Very well, Jack, stand over there, I just need to aim this camera at you. We can actually tell out A, if they're lying, can't we? A, if they're lying, and B, if they're sick at all. I think that's brilliant. Forget about breast scans, certainly our government can make good use of that.
That may be something for the future, and something we'll think about. But the main thing is really to understand the differences in the two tests. Basically, in relation to mammograms and thermograms, they are two different tests, and with the mammogram, it is still the gold standard as far as looking at structures, looking at tumours, but the mammogram won't give us any information about the activity. What we're particularly looking for is the angiogenesis and the production of nitric oxide.
Which you obviously can measure through the heat signatures given off.
That is what we're actually looking
And sports medicine, briefly, we've got people who injure, especially top-level athletes, or a leg is broken in an accident or what have you. Can you actually detect whether the healing's occurring properly there?
A great deal of application, a lot of the use is in sports medicine, where we're looking at the response to treatment, the healing times, overtraining syndromes, where we can then decide whether the player or the athlete is ready to return to work, or whether the person can get on with it.
Yeah. Wayne Rooney's metatarsal, for instance, that sort of thing. Yes. And horse races.
Yeah.
Obviously,
all of these applications, we're looking at the same thing. We're looking at the activity, the physiology, right. Not the structure. We don't see broken bones, but we see the response to a pain, and we see the dysfunction. We see the physiological component of everything.
The company is Meditherm. Am I being paid by your company to say nice things about you?
No.
No brown paper envelopes this week. Meditherm.com. Check out the website. Ladies especially, things for breast scanning, any type of worries about that, get onto Meditherm.com. Select, there's a facility there for finding out a location near you where this is. And can they contact you if they've got any questions at all, or
if they go onto the Meditherm website,
they can be referred in, referred into a local practitioner, a local doctor, a local facility that actually does this type of scanning. Peter, thank you very much for coming along.
You're welcome.